I,
Please state your name.
Rodrigo Roa Duterte,
This guy is the Philippine president who likes to be simply called mayor. Well, he was mayor of Davao City for 22 years and later jumped to the highest post in the land by landslide victory against the equally toughest and high-caliber candidates in the elections of May 2016. 16th Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, who equaled boxing legend Manny Pacquiao in bringing the world's attention in the Philippines with his infamous cursing lips, threatening words, dirty jokes, and flirting words, gave him the name of Duterte Harry, taken from the 1971 blockbuster film Dirty Harry. He has been criticized and ostracized for his foul mouth, but you will be surprised that most of the Filipinos still regard him as a hero among the villains. What has he done for the country since he came to office? So here are our 5 best things Duterte has done for the Philippines. Cutting red tape.
Cut red tapes. I do not want red tapes.
Red tape, as we all know, is anything in government that delays or adds unnecessary complexities, thus making government slow as a snail pace. When Duterte took office, one of his immediate promises was to make government more efficient and cut out anything that gets in the way of speedy service to the people. So Duterte signed the Ease of Doing Business Act. This law requires government offices to finish transactions, particularly requests from the Filipino people, within a few days. He also introduced zero-contact policy to reduce the likelihood of corruption.
Magdanakaw, mga korap, mga kriminal, at yung nagpapahirap sa Pilipino.
Meaning, there should be no secret deals anywhere and anyway. Duterte showed no tolerance for dilly-dallying, especially these days that the country needs speedy action in the importation and delivery of medical supplies and equipment. Laziness is a no-no. Bent on winning the war against the virus, Duterte has continually warned his own staffs, "Do not commit a mistake and we will all be happy and comfortable. If you want to do something foolish, don't do it during this time." And so from the long lines of sweaty citizens, bearing the heat and aching joints just to get their papers processed, we have seen changes. A long line is a mark of inefficiency. Isn't it nice that government one-stop shops have been set up and functional, and the bureaucracy workers have become more conscious on getting things done right away? Move fast, unless you want to suffer the ire and burning the sharp tongue of the president.
Merry Christmas.
Free education.
I got an A on my vocabulary test.
Before 1986, education from elementary to college in government-owned educational institutions were free. Parents only had to pay the minimal school-based fees mostly approved by the Parents Teachers Association. So rich or poor, as long as your brains can handle the pressure of learning in school, are given the chance to learn the same lessons.
If I teach you something, will you get out of here, please?
With their knowledge, confidence, and skills, students from poor families can take a chance to change their lives from scarcity to sufficiency. When our president came to power, college education in state universities and colleges have been reaching a staggering around 1,000 pesos per unit. If you've got 18 units, you have to pay 18,000 pesos, plus the library fees, student fees, usage fees, association fees, processing fees, and so many other invented jargons. On August 3, 2017, Duterte signed Republic Act 10931, known as the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. This law enforces free tuition and exemption from other fees in 112 state universities and colleges all over the country. That is in addition to more scholarships that poor but brainy students can avail. Free education has been proposed many times, many years before, but the past president simply did not support his brainy idea. For a dirty mouth like Duterte Harry, this is not a bad move at all. That's a high five.
You have to give me a high five, then I'll tell you.
What?
Oh, I love high fives. I'll do it.
Cleaning up Boracay.
I will close Boracay. Boracay is a cesspool.
Beach lovers of the country and the world will stop hating this president for enforcing the cleanup of the one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful beach in the world. Pink and fine sand with a perfect horizon, Boracay is an island in the Visayas that once stood as a real-life paradise. But as Boracay embraced more modernity, the tourist money, the hot and sexy lifestyles, and all the pollution that goes with all of this, the pink and pristine beach island turned into a Sodom and Gomorrah of E. coli infestation of its waters. Definitely icky yucky.
Hey, Cordy, man, there's someone on your back. Get him up! Get him up! Get him up! They're on your back!
But Duterte, bent and always mad about many things, enforced a lockdown on Boracay. Yup, even before COVID-19, there was E. coli and lockdown in this pink island. Duterte ordered a total cleanup, as or more precisely threatened the local officials to comply and clean up their acts. And everyone else followed. From being a dirty sleazy beach, after some months of rehabilitation, Boracay began transforming back to paradise. Septic tanks no longer direct all the ways to the sea. The salt water began to claim back their losses to the E. coli's, who began to diminish in numbers. Tourists and guides, bars and boat owners started anew with a more family-friendly destination, just like in the fairy tales.
The most beautiful place, okay, I have ever seen.
Bringing in a more peaceful Mindanao.
We have to make Mindanao peaceful before we can proceed to any progress.
We know Mindanao and have often heard in the news all the improvised explosive devices or IED bombings of electrical posts, churches, markets, and the unknowing general population who have no idea when and where a bomb is going to explode next.
That's it! Bombs away!
In the eyes of the world, the conflict in Mindanao is a big mess. The Bangsamoro Organic Law was scrapped from the previous versions in the previous administrations and got stuck in Congress for a reason we don't know. The law was supposed to usher in the greater autonomy of the Moro nation or the Bangsamoro. Bent and mad to bring the greater autonomy in the Muslim region and recognize the existence of the Moros as a nation within the Philippine nation, Duterte vowed to bring peace in this part of Mindanao. In July 2018, the Senate and House of Representatives passed the bill, and within the same month, Duterte signed the Bangsamoro Organic Law. With greater autonomy and self-governance, except for the basics like the armed forces of course, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM, came to fruition. So, from being machine gun swingers and war experts, the top leaders of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, became parliamentarians, talking and speaking about how to make people's lives better through reason, rule of law, and moral governance. Even the much-feared Commander Bravo is now part of this parliament. Armed with a laptop and assistants, you can even request a selfie with him when the parliament is not in session.
There we go. Everybody smile.
Bringing back of the Balangiga bells.
Give us back those Balangiga bells.
The three bells of the Balangiga municipality in parched Eastern Samar region in the Visayas were taken by the United States Army in retaliation to the revolts of the local folks in the Philippine-American War in the early 1900s. The big bells came from the church of San Lorenzo de Martir in Balangiga and were guarded by the American Joes as trophies for what they believe as successfully crushing the revolting population at the time, killing everyone in the community and then taking the bells as booties. Well, past is past, and the Americans are now closest to the heart of many Filipinos.
Credit goes to the American people and to the Filipino people. Period.
So back to the bells. It is now more than a century, and for many years, the most ardent patriots and activists have been calling on the United States government to return the bells, signing petitions and holding protests. The United States did not budge a bit, not until the mad and dirty president came to office, hurling his brand of expletives and curses against the United States, far too many reasons to mention here. Duterte was like a native chicken challenging the big eagle. He declared to the world that he will not visit the US until the bells of Balangiga are returned. It worked. On December 14, 2018, 117 years since the bells were taken, the bells found their way back to Balangiga. Everyone in Balangiga celebrated. With tears in their eyes, it was a historical, emotional, and victorious moment all the same time for the Warais of the Visayas. Ring the bell. So give Duterte a high five. If we cannot gag his mouth for his dirty words, at least recognize him for his efforts. Anyway, he got the majority votes, so let him serve his term and just cover your ears.
Ang walang disiplina, disiplinahin.
Disiplina Duterte para presidente.
Give us a like if you like our video. Show us some love and support by clicking the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified for more other great videos.